Hey, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? I hate modern AAA gaming. Now, I know that's not really a hot take, but, this year for gaming wasn't really that crazy for me. I think after Elden Ring, I had one of the, biggest gaming slumps possible. I was not really excited to play any upcoming video game, okay? The one game that I thought was going to be decent was Saints Row, and it was not, okay? Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, then the game Gotham Knights showed up to me, okay? Now, I want to give you some history. Some of my favorite games ever made are the Batman Arkham series. The entire thing, all of it, okay? Except the 3DS version of 2D Arkham. Let's ignore that. Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Origins, Arkham Knight. Some of the best goddamn games ever made, okay? And I'm not even the big superhero game fan, okay? I'm not even a massive Batman fan, all right? Let's be real here, okay? It's a little wild that everyone in Gotham suddenly believes, shit, that 6'4" super bulky Bat guy, that 6'4" super bulky multi-billionaire, they surely couldn't be one and the same. Hell, half their faces match. But I can have an aneurysm about that all day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's not a lot of things in life that I'm too happy about, okay? There's a few things that I like, virtual machines, getting married, all this other stuff. But the other thing that I cannot enjoy is trying to keep my expectations high for video gaming and then have it absolutely dashed. Now, Gotham Knights, I figured for a minute, okay? Sure, it's not Rocksteady making this game. Maybe the quality is not going to be all the way there. Oh, it's Warner Brothers Games Montreal doing it. Okay, hey, they made Arkham Origins. I enjoyed that game. I thought it was pretty poggers, as the kids these days say it. So when I heard they were making a Batman-style game, not an Arkham universe game, obviously, but it was a game that consisted of Robin, Nightwing, Red Hood, okay, three of the same characters in a way, and then Batgirl, uncrippled Batgirl. I was like, damn, okay, this seems kind of cool. Hey, I'm down for it. I fucks with this idea. And then, of course, the game drops a day ago. And I'll just be upfront and real with you guys right here. It is not a good game. Now, I know people are going to be like, but Muda, I like it. I enjoy it. Hey, listen, if you enjoy this game, refer back to when I shitted on Saints Row, okay? It's okay to like it, all right? I like a little goatsy every once in a while. Okay, it's cool. Doesn't make that objectively a good experience. You know what I mean? You know what? I liked Matrix 2, okay? It doesn't make it a good movie, okay? I liked it sometimes. It doesn't make it good, all right? Okay, come on now. I liked the space movie from 1992. Doesn't make it good. You understand? All right? You can like something, but it can also objectively be crap. Now, to get started with Gotham Knights, this is a game that basically ticks all the boxes of modern AAA cookie cutter game. I meme a lot with my friends. Does this game have a battle pass? Does this game have skins? Does this game have live services to it? None of these things are necessarily evil, but when they're combined in such a corporate way, the game can come out to be a little dog shit. Now, to understand with Gotham Knights, it starts off pretty awesome, with Batman dying. Batman does, in fact, die in this game. All right, that's basically the first 5 minutes of the title. In fact, the trailer spoiled it, so just putting that out there. And you basically get sent on to finish what Batman started as the four, characters, the four apprentices of the cowl, if you will, right? Now, to understand, the story for the game is okay if you're kind of like a Batman fan. All right, I've generally enjoyed the story. Not a huge fan of the voice acting with Red Todd. I think an artificial intelligence handled that, but hey, I'll leave it where it's at. Now, even beyond the story being okay for Batman standards, it's a video game story. I'm not gonna treat it like it's Citizen Kane or whatever. Okay, I'm not gonna look at it like it's Red Dead 2. The gameplay, holy fuck, the gameplay is boring. Now let's get started with the Arkham games, okay? When you deal with Arkham game combat and stealth segments, they are picture perfect, well handled, okay? Rocksteady back in the day did everything they could to make those Predator experiences, those stealth sections, absolutely amazing. they worked their ass off to make the free flow combat system where you were constantly fighting 5 or 6 different enemy types. So you had to literally plan your attacks differently. If an enemy had a shield, you had to make sure you stunned them, jumped over them, slid under them, fought them that way. If an enemy had a blade, you had to make sure you evaded all of it before you had an opening to attack. There were different enemy types, different attack types, and you had to learn to understand how to handle a situation in a very fluid and fast way. That was something that literally built Batman Arkham series, the Arkham series, to its absolute zenith. That was like one of the defining combat like styles, I guess you could say. And other games copied that. You had other superhero games that literally took the Arkham style and went with it. Games like Spider-Man, games like the Shadow of Mordor games. But of course, Batman paved the way for that. And I would say this game, Gotham Knights, I know it's not an Arkham game. I know it. But the fighting in this game feels like it's a goddamn MMORPG. You're talking about enemies that have health bars, level indicators, damage indicators, and there's literally only a few ways to fight. So you got a light attack, a light melee, a heavy melee attack, all right, like punch like this, or long-winded punch that does slightly more damage, okay, breaks the stance, if you will, sometimes. Then you got a ranged attack, and then a heavy ranged attack. Even these characters don't feel that goddamn different to one another, okay? Whether they're doing stealth or straight up combat. Yeah, some of them have special moves that you can launch, all right? Your special, like, little moves, like Red Hood, who I've been basically maining, can fire his guns pretty rapidly and basically kill a whole chunk of players. Robin can spin his, like, his cane around a lot and damage individuals. You get what I'm trying. Do you understand what I am saying, okay? It is a very basic combat system. The enemies alone, all right, are not unique, okay? I am a few hours into the game, and the enemies' types are literally the same goddamn types over and over and over again. Hey, look, maybe it changes 50 hours into the game. But I would say when you compared this to the Arkham series, which, again, I know people are going to be like, but Muda, it's not the Arkham games. I get it. It's not easy to get rid of that comparison when the last fucking Batman game was such a good title, okay? This had a lot of expectations to live up to, and it meant nothing. So yeah, the combat is laughably a joke. Now, of course, I want to give the worst UI of the year award to Gotham Knights as well, too. So when you're not engaging in combat, you are engaging in some of the worst crafting UI systems you could imagine. So between missions, nights of patrols, you have to go back and you can basically train. You can, talk to other characters, do these like story building cutscenes, but you can also craft, okay? So throughout the game, you're crafting like newer suits, or you really only have 3 options, okay? You're crafting a new piece of armor, some melee items, or some ranged items. And there's really not so much thought that goes into it other than what has the highest power meter, and let me just get that. There's also mods that you can slot into your items too, so you got that going for you. All in all, it feels like a mobile game, okay? I'm not joking when I say that. The UI and the building in here is very reminiscent to those free-to-play mobile games you find, okay? Where you're constantly going out of your way to upgrade your abilities because you need to make sure you upgrade before you actually jump into one of these games or missions going on later. Now, the missions have suggested levels. Obviously, you need to make sure you are that level. Now, speaking of the grind, it's not terribly bad or anything. And that's the only saving grace, because this is one of those games that's designed with such a mobile gaming mindset, yet it has no microtransactions, okay? So they got like 3 different currencies, legendary isotopes, rare isotopes, common isotopes, whatever the regions are. And you're always sitting there trying to like constantly get these so you can craft better items. You can't buy them via microtransaction, but there's plenty of quests around the map, like crimes that are happening where you could just jump into them in the middle of a night and just do them to get these items or these crafting regions and experience quicker, if you will, right? Or you can grind them out pretty sanely. Now, that's another big problem with this game, is you have to experience this dead as shit open world, all right? Now, listen, I don't know if Gotham Knights was taking place during the COVID-19 pandemic, where everyone was locked in Gotham, but there's like 2 cars on the road, okay? Maybe like 4 NPCs walking around from time to time. And you might be like, but Muda, it's late at night. Nobody's outside. Have you ever walked In big cities like New York, there's always people outside. There's always a car. Okay, it's not dead. Have you ever been to Los Angeles? God forbid? Yeah, it's still active at night. Toronto, still active at night. I don't understand why Gotham is so actually dead. It makes no sense to me. Even in the movies, Gotham is not dead at night. I thought this was supposed to be like the Chicago or New York of the DC universe. No, in reality, this is like the goddamn, like, Nunavut, okay? Like, everyone's sleeping past 5 p.m., okay? It's done. So, again, even in the open world at night, when it's so dead, the funniest thing is, the game is a performance shit pile. Now, I want to just make this as I am so done supporting any AAA company that cannot put their effort into optimizing their game, okay? Now, listen, before anybody says, but Muda, WB, this is not an indie company. This is a big AAA publisher. They are charging $60, $70 for this game. Full price, okay? Full price video game. Now, this game didn't come out on the PS4, Xbox One. It's a PS5, Xbox Series, PC exclusive, right? Which means it's using all the power of the next generation systems, or current generation, which there's a lot of, okay? There's a lot of power there. Now, the game had its first problems when it came out that it was only 30 frames per second on the last generation, or the current generation systems. Now, this game does not look good enough, if you've been watching the gameplay in this video, to fucking warrant a 30 frame limit, okay? You know why it's 30 frames? Because if this footage looks like it lags at all for you, I am running the game on a Ryzen 9 5950X, 128 gigs of high-speed RAM, an RTX 4090 graphics card. Yes, Muda, I use the right term, graphics card. I'm not even joking here. Do you want to know the funniest thing? I'm getting 40 frames. Sometimes I'm getting 30. Hey, if I'm lucky, maybe it runs over 60 frames in the open world. Now, when you go into this game and you go into like the closed off like mission sections, then the frame rate gets better. It's the open world that absolutely tanks your frame rate. Now, this game, again, does not look great enough to warrant that. I had every setting maxed out. I was playing it at super ultra wide, which this game supports. And then beyond all of it, there was another big concern that I also had too in this situation. This game has like 6 different variants of upscaling, okay? You've got Intel XeSS, which I didn't even know existed until this game. You have like 2 versions that they have. I believe it's like Unreal Engine based upscaling. You have NVIDIA DLSS and AMD FSR 2.0. No matter which scaler you use, I swear I have not seen a tangible performance increase. Now, it just changes the amount of blur you get on the screen. I don't know what's up with this game, but the CPU utilization and the GPU utilization are so hilariously low that I have to believe there is some bug in the game, some severe lack of optimization. Maybe it's a driver issue. I don't know. Okay, I've tried everything. And this game does not run well at all. And it's not just me going through it. It's a bunch of other PC players who are going through what is objectively a shitty PC port. And this is not acceptable. Like I said at the beginning, this is not some goddamn indie company. This is a big time publisher who cannot be asked to put any effort into their game, okay? And this is one of those things where you should not give a company full price, $1 for their game if they're not willing to respect you as a customer. And you know, even if you look at a game released like 6-7 years ago, Batman Arkham Knight, this is a 2015 game that looks generationally better than this dog shit, plays better, okay? Hell, there's not even any loading screens the last I checked. It's a seamless experience. That game is cohesively better than anything Gotham Knights has to offer. I have to say, modern AAA gaming is such a crap fest where every game publisher is so horny for battle passes, microtransactions, live services, that they've lost the plot on what makes a good next-gen game. You know, back during the PS4, Xbox One release, typically in that early cycle, you had Arkham Knight. You even had Assassin's Creed Unity. Yeah, I remember Unity was buggy, but when you play Unity and you just look at the environments around you, yeah, it is generationally, like, better than what we're looking at in Gotham Knights. Back then, All right, years ago, gaming companies, AAA gaming companies, put a lot more effort into their projects than what you're seeing right now. Look, I thought Saints Row was a joke, but I think Gotham Knights is an even bigger joke. If Saints Row was the goddamn circus, all right? This is the goddamn carnival, okay? This is the bet. This is it. This is a comedy tour is what it is. Gotham Knights is probably one of the worst PC ports that I've played in recent memory. In a year surrounded with bad PC ports, like Elden Ring. But Gotham Knights is also a soulless game too, which if you're a Batman fan, listen, if you really need a Batman game, I wouldn't even be opposed for you picking this shit up on a sale. But if anybody thinks that they should pay $60, $70 for this game, you're fresh out of your mind. This is not a game worth it, and this is a game that honestly screams just how bad the industry has actually gotten. There are so many developers that put their heart and soul into making this game, and I have to believe that there's some publishing group at the top, Warner Brothers Publishing, crunching them down, absolutely making them turn this game into a pile of dog water before it actually releases. You might think that I'm being very hyperbolic, and in some cases, yeah, I kind of feel like I am too, but generally after playing this for a few hours, I have not found anything in this game that is worthy of being a Batman video game. Everything in this game is a generational step back from Batman Arkham Knight. I would say this game, Arkham Asylum, a game over 10 years ago, Arkham City, those games run and feel way better and fresher than Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights is probably this game is like Marvel Avengers, but just slightly better, okay? That's all I'm really going to put it at. This is an example of what happens when live services, skins, and just generally the lack of making a good Arkham-style game. This is when you have your priorities completely thrown off balance, all right? That's pretty much all it comes down to. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I wanted to talk about with Batman Arkham Knight. Or sorry, not Arkham Knight. Gotham Knights, okay? If you're going to play this game, I would rather you go to Steam right now. In fact, let me actually check up the Arkham series on Steam. Batman Arkham Collection. Let me see this. How much does it cost? This Batman Arkham Collection right now with Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight Season Pass comes at $79.99. When I look at Gotham Knights, that's $79.99. For the same price, you can play all the original Arkham games and absolutely have a good time. Games that I replay every year on a yearly basis. Don't bother putting your money down for this. I've already went through it. I've already suffered enough. This is me, Mudahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I'm out.